I'm Callie Fitzpatrick, Director of the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs. I'm a proud Army veteran and the daughter of a veteran of both the Korean War and the Vietnam War. This is an important day for Vietnam veterans, for the entire Oregon veteran community, and for our nation as a whole. In normal years, before the coronavirus pandemic struck, it was my tremendous honor to join with other individuals from across the state of Oregon and our nation's military to gather at our state capitol building and host a number of Oregon Vietnam veterans to personally thank them for their service and to welcome them home. Because of COVID-19, that's not possible this year. But this is too important an occasion not to honor and celebrate it as best we can. With this, our virtual Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day ceremony, we have sought to preserve the most important and time-honored traditions of our in-person event, including the reading of the Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Proclamation, signed by Governor Kate Brown, as you'll hear shortly. I was a child during the Vietnam era, living with my family on a military base. I recall the constant concern that my mother, my friends, and our neighbors had about the war, whose fathers were heading to Southeast Asia, who was returning, and who was not returning. We often sat glued to the black and white TV watching images of the war on the news. It was a time of uncertainty, yet a time when I was proud that my father was defending our nation and its values. And we were all happy and relieved when we were able to welcome my father home. He was my hero. I think of him on occasions like this one and see a bit of him in the faces of every male veteran from that time, especially on this day. Because an entire generation of our nation's heroes who answered the call of duty did not receive the grateful welcome that they richly deserved. Instead, Vietnam veterans returned from the battlefields overseas only to be met with jeers and insults, to be spit upon, to be verbally and even physically attacked by their fellow Americans. Fortunately, things are different today. Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day recognizes this injustice in our history. Vietnam veterans are now the largest veteran demographic and the true leaders in our veteran community today. Many belong to service organizations or wear hats and other signs and symbols of their service, which they show with pride. But it will take more than time to fully erase the pain of this difficult period in our nation's history. And that's the second purpose of Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, to give every one of us a chance to say the simple but important words of honor and gratitude that too many Vietnam veterans did not hear 50 years ago. Former President John F. Kennedy said, "A nation reveals itself not only in the citizens it produces, but the citizens it honors, the citizens it remembers." On Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, we affirm as a nation that our Vietnam veterans are worthy of honor and remembrance. That's the purpose of this day and the purpose of today's video. So on behalf of a grateful nation, we thank you for your service and say, welcome home.
Whereas the United States Armed Forces completed the withdrawal of combat troops from Vietnam on March 30th, 1973, officially marking the end of a long and historically divisive conflict. And whereas more than 58,000 Americans, including 801 Oregonians, made the ultimate sacrifice with their lives, and 34 Oregon service members remaining missing in action to this day in Vietnam. And whereas more than 108,000 Vietnam-era veterans live in Oregon and comprise more than a third of Oregon's veteran population. And whereas, upon their return home, members of the United States Armed Forces who served bravely during the Vietnam War were not welcomed home by crowds of cheering Americans for their honorable service to our country, nor were they fully supported to heal from traumatic and stressful experiences incurred during and after the war. And whereas, wanting to take demonstrable steps towards reconciling the past and expressing a proper and sincere welcome home from a grateful state, the Oregon legislature in 2012 passed legislation designating March 30th of each year as Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day in our state. Now, therefore, Kate Brown, Governor of the the state of Oregon hereby proclaims March 30th, 2021 to be Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day in Oregon and encourage all Oregonians to join in this observance.
Good afternoon. Governor Kate Brown here. As the daughter of an Air Force service member, I have incredible respect and admiration for those who serve and protect the nation in our armed forces, a brave and selfless act. The veterans who served in Vietnam faced unprecedented challenges, fighting an entrenched enemy on foreign soil, with dangers waiting around every turn. More than 58,000 Americans, including 801 Oregonians, made the ultimate sacrifice with their lives, and 34 Oregon service members remain missing in action to this day in Vietnam. When the war came to a close in the 1970s, Vietnam veterans returned home, not to crowds of cheering Americans, but to another battlefield, one fraught with anger, bitterness, and protest. They found that in many places, they were now the enemy in the eyes of the public. We recognize the unimaginable pain this caused for so many of our veterans and our military families, wounds that linger to this day. Today, more than 108,000 Vietnam-era veterans live in Oregon, and they comprise more than a third of our veteran population. As your governor, I'm so proud to recognize and proclaim today as Welcome Home Vietnam Veterans Day, which is just one of the tangible ways Oregonians are working to reconcile this regrettable period in our country's past and express the proper welcome home that was due every Vietnam veteran. From the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of our grateful state and nation, I want to say to all of our Vietnam veterans, your selfless service has given us a debt we can never repay, but we must try every day and welcome home.
Hi, I'm General Dan Hokanson, Chief of the National Guard Bureau and a proud Oregon Guardsman. On behalf of the National Guard and a very grateful nation, I want to say welcome home to our Vietnam veterans. For nearly 50 years, you've carried memories of your service and your bittersweet homecoming. You've borne the brunt of politics and the wounds of war. You defined a generation with your courage and your sacrifice. Your commendation is heartfelt, but long overdue. Through your persistence, advocacy, and leadership, you've changed the course of history for the veterans like me who followed you. You fought for recognition and for the essential services our warfighters deserve. You changed our nation's understanding of what it means to serve and how much our warriors rely on the support of the folks back home. You continue to shape policy and practice, and your fellow veterans will be forever grateful. Thank you for your service. I'm proud to follow in your footsteps.
Hello, I'm Major General Mike Stencel, the Adjutant General for Oregon. It's my honor to thank you, our Vietnam veterans, for your service and sacrifice to our country on this day of remembrance. When I reflect upon the status and respect that current service members experience today, I know it is in large part due to the lessons that Americans learned from the Vietnam War and the efforts of Vietnam veterans to ensure service members are never again treated in the same way. I was a young boy during the Vietnam War, but I can still remember picking up on the pain and division and the soft conversations adults were having around me. I remember seeing pictures of prisoners of war and those still missing in action, and my parents talking about their high school classmate, Commander Harley Hall, who sadly was one of the last pilots lost in the war. I remember learning that one of my classmates' older brother had been killed and trying to understand the pain that his family must have been experiencing. And I remember being confused trying to reconcile anti-war protests here at home while Americans were fighting on behalf of their country overseas. When I consider my own career, commissioning in 1984 and initially training as an F-4 pilot, I recall reflecting on who had sat in the cockpit of the jet before me. I wondered about the missions and memories of the men who had flown the Phantom during the Vietnam War, which had ended just 10 short years before my flying career began. I grew up hearing the stories of Vietnam War veterans and heroes like Lance Seigen, an F-4 pilot, who after his aircraft was downed and he incurred significant injury, evaded capture by the North Vietnamese for more than 6 weeks, with no real food and little water. Even after finally being captured, he continued to fight to survive and escape, ultimately dying in captivity. This strong will to survive and endure is a mark of your generation. Thank you for your continued dedication to our country. You are models of resilience and character, traits we need now as we face new and unprecedented challenges. On behalf of the entire Oregon National Guard, thank you for your service, and again, welcome home.
Hello there, I'm State Representative Paul Evans, and I want to welcome you home this March 29th, 2021. It's hard to believe that 48 years ago the last combat troops left Vietnam. And I know that for most Vietnam veterans the return was not the return you deserved. I can't make up for what happened 48 years ago, but I can tell you that your sacrifice and service matters greatly to this country, to this state, and to my generation of veterans. Over 2,700,000 Americans served in Vietnam. 75,000 returned severely disabled. 58,194 came home in a coffin after serving their country and giving their last measure of devotion. Today, hundreds of thousands of families and millions of veterans still remember the pain and the despair of that challenging time in American history. I wish I could take an eraser and undo it all, but I can't. What I can do is tell you that after 48 years, you deserve a welcome home and a celebration. Your service mattered. Your service kept the world from going absolutely chaotic at a time where it could have gone across the edge. Your service in Vietnam kept our government, kept our world in a Cold War that prevented nuclear annihilation. And your return taught a generation. It taught a generation shame and guilt, because upon reflection they realized how badly they had treated you and your brothers and sisters in arms. I want to thank you as a member of my generation of warriors, because your sacrifice, your pain, and your hard work to make sure that no other generation was treated the same way that you were paved the way for improvements in healthcare, paved the way for improvements in how my brothers and sisters are treated upon return. I just want to say thank you for your devotion to duty, your sacrifice, and your service. And I want to say thank you for teaching my generation how to handle a complex experience and do so with honor, with empathy, and with love. I hope you have a wonderful Vietnam Veterans Day this month, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Welcome home.
Hello everyone, my name is Steve Bobb Sr. I'm a Marine Corps Vietnam vet. I served in country 70 and 71. And today it is my privilege to be able to, after 50 plus years, to be able to welcome home my brothers and sisters of the Vietnam conflict. In a hot, steamy little nation, a half a world away, the majority of us who are just kids. And with the thought in the back of our mind each day, is this the day that I may not come back? We did our jobs. we followed our orders into what we believed was to help a people gain independence and freedom from their aggressive neighbors. The two things we always remember when we landed in that plane on our arrival in Vietnam and departed that plane was the heat and the smell. And during your tour, and some of you even multiple tours, you endured mankind at their worst, but yet mankind at their best. Incredible courage beyond comprehension and compassion for men and people they didn't even know. With the many lives that were lost, some even friends and family, with the pain and the suffering, both physical and mental, with the living a lifelong effect of being exposed to Agent Orange and the enormous potential of those we left behind gone. And then returning home to an unwelcoming and indifferent America with the simple expectation of a thank you for your sacrifice that never came. Through the years, we have learned to accept and to heal from these trying times, and yet still to this day, when we hear the national anthem played, we stand tall. It is hard for us to control our emotions as we well up with the pride within each and every one of us. We served in the armed forces of the United States of America, without question, the toughest fighting forces on this planet. And if we was called today, we would not hesitate. So today it is my honor, it is my privilege to be able to welcome home my brothers and sisters of the Vietnam War, to say thank you for your duty, thank you for your sacrifice, thank you for your endurance and staying strong. When you see a veteran who is wearing a cover that says Vietnam Vet, please approach him, shake his hand, and say, welcome home, brother. Again, thank you for all that you have done. Welcome, welcome home. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you.
Hi, my name is Larry. I'm a former Vietnam veteran, and to all my Vietnam veterans, welcome home.
To all of our honored vets, we appreciate you so much and just want to say, welcome home!
Hey guys, thank you for your service. Welcome home. Glad to have you back.
Hello, my name is Anna Potter, and I am the Director for Aging Veteran Services at Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs. My team and I would like to say thank you for your service and welcome home!
Hi, I'm Sabrina, Infection Control Nurse at the Oregon Veterans Home in the Dalles, Oregon. I just want to say thank you for all the Vietnam vets and their service, and welcome home.
Well, welcome home, all you Vietnam vets. It's good to see y'all home. Thank you for serving.
I want to say I appreciate your service, you Vietnam veterans, and welcome home.
Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Hi, my name is Derek. I'm a nurse at the Oregon Veterans Home in Lebanon, and to all the Vietnam vets, welcome home.
Hi, this is Rick, the Dalles Veterans Home, and I'm thanking all my fellow Marines and soldiers and sailors home from Vietnam, and once again, welcome home.
Hey Vietnam vets, just wanted to let you know we appreciate your service and everything you've done, and welcome home.
Hi, I'm Jim. I'm at the Oregon Veterans Home. I served in Vietnam as the Fleet Marine First Corpsman, Purple Heart recipient. I'm glad to welcome you all home.
This is Cody Cox, Home Loan Program Manager for the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs Home Loan Program. Thank you very much for your service. Welcome home.
Hello there, fellow Vietnam vets. Sure glad I made it home. I'm glad that you all made it on too. Thank you for your service and welcome home, Vietnam vets.